that
yeah.
remembered the past life.
See, remember I said we change around the age of 7 or 8. Our conscious starts to become more aware, and you hear things like that's not true. That's why people with imaginary friends, they lose them around 7 or 8. But that's why when you said that the guy with that pilot, he's young, yes. But around 7 or 8, it just seems to disappear, or the conscious starts zinging around and it's recessed, so you can bring it back. But it does take somebody like what I do to help you. But all this happens all the time. I always say to people in the crowd, you have kids that don't listen to you, and everybody laughs because that's what most of the kids don't listen. I said, quite likely, and I have found out that sometimes your kids were your parents in a different life. So
that wouldn't be too good.
Not listening to you, yes. So think of the logic right there. You get colicky kids. You've heard of colicky kids, scream all the time.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's because they've got a nightmare. They've got something. They died violently in a past life. That's where a lot of people get, nightmares are repeatedly the same one. It's just that you don't have to wait till you're an adult to get your nightmare. Some kids come in with them. Those are the ones of why you have colicky kids. And there's really nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Until later on, or they'll know it. But there's tons of stuff. What have you? You get another question. What was that?
Well, no, it just, I was just saying, there was a lot of murders, like you mentioned, Jack the Ripper, Al Capone. I mean, I'm just wondering if anybody's claimed to have been Al Capone and all these type of things. I mean, where, can a regression or going back, I mean, can a person only have 1 or 2 lives before, or could they maybe not have you run across anybody had only 1 or 2 lives before?
Well, yeah, apparently seems to, if you read a book, there's an author called Michael Newton, he's written a couple of books, big ones, Life Between Lives. So I read that, and then when I read something, I go and practice with some of my people and going, yeah, it works, but it works even better if I do it this way. What happened, though, is that apparently, and again, I don't know, they're making, normally we're in energy. You've heard the word soul or energy. I don't get all gooey words, but I call it we're in energy. Apparently, we work with a few of them in particular, and we're supposed to finish our lessons and become more mature, and then you don't have to come back. You move up the scale, get a better job somewhere, whatever, in the scale, whatever. Now, what happens is they're creating them all the time. So, yes, I occasionally have people that come to see me, and they've only had maybe 4 or 5. I don't get one with 1 or 2, because they come to me with problems. If you only had 2 past lives, what's the odds you get a problem from it? Differently, if you had 100 and you get problems in, say, 1%, well, you're going to have 1. So, and I've had people with up to 6,000 or 7,000 past lives. But part of it isn't also how many, it's what you learn from it. I had one lady, I said, let me tell you, how long have you had this one particular lesson that you haven't finished? Or how many, she had 100, answer came up 114 past lives, still trying to learn one lesson. Well, I think we were not talking about quality, talking about quantity. So now she will not, continue with that one because she now knows what she has to do. But, you get done with a few, but it's usually, it ranges. But I always say that, actually, I did have an odd one. There was a guy that he knew was a nerd. Actually, there was a woman came in to see me. She had a fear of heights. So I said, I'm going to take you back to past life. She said, I see myself as a female. I'm sort of walking up a path. I'm in Switzerland, wearing the long skirt and in her early 20s. So in my mind's eye, I learned never to assume, because one thing I find fascinating about this, Gary, is that the system of doing these and going through their lives is the same, but each one I see and hear is so different. That's why I have books on case histories. You never know. So I never assume or lead or say, did you fall off a mountain? I just say, tell me more. So she said, got to the top, or a big ledge, and then I still was wondering, now 3 things could happen. Somebody could push you, you slipped, or you jumped. So I said, what happened next? She said, she jumped. And in my mind I'm going, oh, that's why you had the fear heights. And I said, then she said, he can mix up she yodeled all the way down.
Oh, wow.
And I'm going, okay, that's different. Now, an interesting fact also with that is that when apparently we know we're going to die, our energy leaves. The body's just a vessel to learn from because you can't feel aches and pains in energy. So generally people, the energy will leave before. I said, did your energy leave before? Nope. I wanted to hear the splats.
Oh, wow.
So I knew I had somebody that was, and sure enough, she only had 2 previous past lives.
Did she say,
They're a little bit confused. Yeah. Well, they just didn't know what to do.
Did she feel the splat when it? No, I'm sorry. If she wanted to hear it, I mean, I'm just wondering if she felt it and could describe it.
Well, just the splat, because as soon as that happens, instantly you are dead.
Yeah.
So it's not like you can keep on feeling it. But I said, what was the lesson? He said, I don't know, but I want to do it again. So I knew this was a new soul. It doesn't ever happen. So that's basically how this whole thing works.
Hey, Chris, I kind of maybe disagree with you on that, because from the aspect, when you get the splat, you're dead. I mean, how about when they used to, like in England and other places where they used to decapitate people, with the axe or with whatever, and their head be rolling and their eyes would be still, looking at a
Yeah, that's a physical reaction. Just like a chicken can run around with its head cut off for a little while.
Yeah, but wouldn't the brain still be functioning for a little bit as it's for
a few seconds, but it's not going to be long. We normally leave. You see, we only come into the human body, I've found, as an energy to learn a lesson. And if you're falling off the cliff and you're going to die, we generally leave. So there's not much more to learn from, getting your head taken off. So I'm just saying this is what has happened. It's possible. But interesting thing is that one thing I do get people that come to see me and they say, no, my problem happened in this life. And it was in England. A lady came to see me. She was in her 40s. She said that she had a pain in her neck for the last 4 years. And I said, well, what happened? And she said, well, it's not past life. It was a car accident. I got whiplash. So I said, okay, fine. And then I said, why are you coming to see me? She says, well, my painkillers, which you take daily, are not working well because you do, get a resistance to them and have to take more. So all I did was slow her down, and I didn't even say, so therefore I didn't say go to a past. I just said go to the cause of why the pain in your neck won't go away, because our body can heal itself on its own. Like you break a leg, in 7 weeks you can walk again. Your body will heal. But if you still got a pain and it's healed, you've triggered something. So what happened is that I said, let your subconscious show you where it came from. So some people are very good at describing. So she said that she basically described that she was on her knees, and in the daytime it was France, and there was people all around, and they're all yelling and laughing. And I said, move around to the point where you can see what's happening. And she moved around, because in the energy form, I can't have you move further back or move around. She said, I'm being guillotined. Now, when I'm doing talks, I have to explain to the younger people that means beheaded.
Yeah.
Many people say, "What's a guillotine?" Hello, let's watch an old movie. Anyhow, beheaded.
It's a poor
now,
time,
that's probably the
guy.
biggest pain in the neck. Well, what happened is that then I said to her in the session, I said, "Now move your head around, your neck and head." Now, she very gingerly started to move because she'd been used to 4 years of just, moving her neck and shoulders all at the same time. She slowly started to move, and then within seconds she realized it was totally gone. She was like a kid with a new ice cream or something, just sort of bobbing around. And it's the first time she had done that motion in 4 years. And it doesn't come back, because it's like once you know it's a garbage can, why would that noise bother you again?
Yeah. How about cases? How about cases where people, were in a wheelchair, and I read where they went in and came out walking after a few sessions. I mean, have you run across anything like that at all ever?
The closest I've come to that one that I can recall is a lady. It was in the Maritimes, Eastern Canada. It was a bigger lady. She came in and she had one of those walkers, that you lift in front of you and walk. Those things? No, I guess it's a walker. So
yeah, walker.
She came in with that. Yeah, put it down, and she sat down and did the session. When she left the walker behind. She didn't run out, and she didn't need it. And what was kind of cute for her, she emailed me months later, a few weeks later, she said that she had a shower for the first time in about 8 years standing up.
Oh, wow.
Now, that to us that's not a big deal in a sense, but if you haven't been able to do that,
well, I mean, that would be a major thing, I mean, that's yeah.
Because your body cells hold. Basically, how it is that when your subconscious is very powerful, it controls your immune system, etc. And if you, what it is that for some reason, if you haven't finished that lesson, you've got to do this life. It holds the ache of pain that you finished with, like falling down a cliff and you still got that pain. It's just for some reason duplicates it. So when they see where it comes from, those muscles let go. A lot of people report feeling warmth and tingle happening in those areas of their body. A good example, have you ever slept on your arm?
Oh, numerous times.
Yeah, isn't that annoying? When you go to move it, it's like a dead feeling, warm, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it makes it hard to roll over in the bed.
Yeah, you're restricted to circulation. So what happens is when people often get that happening, or when they let go of something, they'll say, "Oh, I'm warm right in that area." That's good. That means that it's letting go. Lower back pain. Oh, another interesting thing too is that quite often people, when you do move an area in the session that I'm now finished with, you'll hear cracking, snapping, like cracking your knuckles or something happens, and people go, "What the heck was that?" You see, when your body cells are trying to duplicate the same pain, if it's not quite strong, hurting enough by tightening, your body for some reason will actually put some of the bones out of alignment, so it makes it hurt a lot more, and the snapping is them going back into shape. A good one to explain that the guy came to see me, and he had lower back pain. That's one of the most common pains. Now, we can't get that from just working hard and sit down, but if you sit down and 3 days later the pain's still there, you've triggered something. So what happened was, as I said, go back to the cause of the ache in your back, lower back pain. Now, I don't remember the details because I've had hundreds of those, but he saw where it came from. Now I said, move around. And in the chair, he moved around, and did I hear a crack? He said, "Did you hear that?" And I said, "Oh, yeah." And now, when he finished the session, because they did a couple of things with him, then when they get up, I say, "Stand up." So we finished. Say, "Stand up, move around." He stood up, and he just beaming. He said, "It's been 12 years since he stood up straight." That when I hear this is my reward for doing this. It looks on people's faces when their pains are gone that they've had for years. It's amazing how it happens.
Well, isn't that
First I started. Sorry?
But isn't some of that could be psychological where, they were in a deep depression, maybe something bad happened in their life, or maybe they were in a car accident or something, got hurt on a job, and then they kind of went into, laying in the bed stage for a long time. And then they psychologically, they had themselves convinced they couldn't walk, or they couldn't, stand straight, or their back hurt all the time.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
And you're releasing that.
If people say to you, Gary, it's all in your head, it is.
Yeah.
Our suggestion is very strong. One of the things, for example, is, we're actually a healthy person. Physically, we are healthy. Unless you came into this life to have a specific thing, like maybe come in to learn to have cancer or cripple or something, that's a little different. But we choose to do that. But in general, we are very healthy. But our conscious easily influences the subconscious because the subconscious listens to what you say or repetition. A quicker way to explain it, first of all, is that you ever have a job where you went to work and home the same way all the time?
Yeah, sure. I think everybody has.
Yeah, just about everybody. I say to them, when you go to your job, every day for years, did you look up the address? Did you look at the names of the streets? Hello, after a while, it became automatic. And you ever drive all the way home into your driveway and go, oh my God, I wasn't paying attention. I was supposed to stop and get some, gas or something. Yes, we've all done that. It's because your subconscious takes over. When it knows you're not paying attention, it does want to keep you healthy. It doesn't, stop at red lights and all kinds of stuff. But that's, okay, so the power of suggestion, you say it enough times. Now, health is one of them. You ever heard somebody say, don't talk to Johnny because he's got a cold? You're going to catch that cold. You ever heard of that type of thing?
Oh, yeah, all the time, especially when I was in school.
That's a load of bull crap. It's bull crap. Your subconscious is healthy. You don't catch. Now,